Welcome to Red Table Model Reviews. Today I wanted to show you the highly anticipated McLaren F1 by LCD Models. This is the newest release by LCD Models, highly anticipated model. So far on the market we had more budget options like milestone and UT models than the medium range from Mini Champs, and then the, let's call it, iconic Auto Art signature release that went up in value like crazy over the last few years. So there was a, let's call it, a space for a in the middle between the Mini Champs and Auto Art, and a lot of collectors were waiting for a release of this model by LCD Models. I think it's around 200 to 300 euros in retail. Right now the green one, the XP5, was released, so this is the first production F1 that was shown to the world. But there will also be a violet one, orange one, light blue and silver. Those are the ones that are announced, but probably LCD Models will also make more colors in the future. So maybe at first let's address a few things that collectors over the world were curious about when seeing the pre-production samples. So mostly there were two things. One thing that was that the rims were very chromed and shiny, so that fortunately was fixed by LCD Models. Right now the paint on the wheels is very nice, a little bit similar to Toyota Supra from LCD Models. It has this metallic feel, and it really is looks really nice. The second thing that everybody was curious about is the logo. The logo in the front, you can see it is unfortunately quite big. I must say, in real life it is not as big as in the pictures. However, it is visibly out of scale. It is quite interesting because actually LCD Models already produced in the past McLaren 600 LT, so a little bit newer model, and it did had a McLaren logo in the front, and it was much smaller. And actually I was quite surprised that they just didn't use the part from as a carryover from the 600 LT, because it would be, well, first of all, much easier to use the part that they already have in production. But they developed this new logo here, and well, it doesn't look fantastic. However, as I said, in real life, in real light, not artificial light like the one that we have here, it really does not look that bad. When we're at the topic of the wheels, of course we have the brake rotors that are made from metal. We have the brake calipers, but the thing that I noticed, and it is the same for the Auto Art release, is there are no lettering around the tires, which is quite surprising given that all the other LCD models were do have the lettering on the tires. And actually even the much cheaper Mini Champs release have really nice Goodyear lettering on the tires, but apparently LCD Models were really looking at auto art and trying to copy every feature that it has, and they forgot that they actually can add some features to make it even better than the auto art. So generally, another thing that I was a bit worried about, but it turned out really well, is the stance, especially of the front axle. So generally, most of the LCD models that I own, like for example Huayra or Pagani Zonda Barchetta, they have a problem that the front axle the stance is a little bit too high. So the front axle, you can see that it is a little bit too high. Fortunately here the stance is very good, so it really is close to the ground, so that is something that was that I liked a lot. Unfortunately, there is another thing that we can see is the generally the model has a working suspension. However, it is extremely hard to see that. In front there is a little bit change of ride height, but in the back it's completely stiff. I don't want to overstress it, not to break anything, but trust me, it's, you know, the change in ride height is almost non-existent. And actually, when we will look into the engine compartment, you can see the springs there. It's just, you know, they are the change in the ride height is literally non-existent. So that is a bit of a letdown. Another thing that I unfortunately saw in my sample, but I also seen it in the pictures of other models on, for example, eBay or on Facebook collectors groups, is the fact that the wheels are not parallel to each other. So when we look at the undercarriage, you can see that for example the front wheel, it is a little bit angled, the back one also, but really small angle, but the front one, it is really angled, which personally I find it is a big letdown for a high-end premium model like that. Of course you can, you know, arrange the wheels to look well in, for example, display cabinet, but generally for such premium model it should be aligned properly just out of the box. When we're at the box, when you take out the model, you can feel that it is actually pretty light, which is not that big advantage. I would say this is it's always good when you feel the weight of the model. Here it is quite light, even though it is a full opening diecast. It also is pretty flimsy. You do not feel, for example, this high quality build like in old auto arts or previous LCD model releases. So you can see that actually, you know, everything here is, you don't feel this, you know, robustness. Of course, actually, you know, when the wheels are not aligned that well, it's a good thing that, you know, you can always in the cabinet align it properly, but let's face it, it should be done right by the factory. Okay, so maybe looking inside, this is a, as I said, fully opening model. There is a gas struts here, and the interior looks pretty nice. Let's look inside. Nothing that's particularly you know, that would be standing out. You can see the flaps for the luggage compartment, There's also some luggage inside, the same as for the as in Auto Art. Actually, there is one thing that is a bit better, because actually the luggage compartment is flocked, unlike Auto Art. Then when we look into the interior, of course, everything is flocked what should be flocked. There is a carbon fiber weave where it should be. But generally, again, I'm a little bit let down, because, for example, when we look at the doors, when you compare it to McLaren 600 LT by LCD models, there, for example, the sound speaker or the door handles, there were separate parts. The sound speaker was absolutely state-of-the-art. You could see inside it the membrane of the speaker. That was absolutely phenomenal. Here, this is just a one piece of plastic. Of course, it has some texture as a sound speaker would have, but definitely it could have been done better. And actually, the LCD models did do it better in the past. So maybe let's open it from the other side, so we'll have more light there. And then we're coming to the interesting part, so the engine compartment. So everything is, all parts are openable, just like in Auto Art. So the rear spoiler, it can open to a really small angle. I'll just show you why that is so. You can see here that there are parts of a cooling system, the cooling hoses, that are preventing the rear spoiler to open more, which is a bit of a shame. You can see that there is a gold foil everywhere. However, the build quality isn't that fantastic. Maybe you can see here, I have this model only a few days, and already the foil is a little bit peeling off. And generally, looking at the engine compartment, so everything looks fine here. I mean, everything is in place. However, given how absolutely amazing engine compartment on a Toyota Supra, so one of the latest releases by LCD, was, I was expecting something more. Here you can see a lot of hoses, a lot of wires, but generally it looks a little bit plasticky. The titanium exhaust looks a little bit plastic. There is not much detail. If you look further into the engine compartment, you can see a little bit of just simply silver plastic, just flat plastic without any detail. So definitely my hopes were higher, especially given how absolutely mind-blowing Supra engine compartment was. I was thinking that maybe here, of course, this engine is very built-in the real car, so obviously they cannot invent something that isn't there in the real car, but definitely the engine compartment compared to Auto Art, it is a little bit less detailed. From the high side, definitely is the air intakes with beautiful carbon weave, but LCD are making carbon, in my opinion, they are one of the best in the business since many models, Pagani models. So that was kind of expected, but the rest, in my opinion, is a little bit of a letdown. Of course, when you look then here, all the meshes, they are photo etched, so obviously something that you would expect from a premium brand and a high-end model. Here we can see another side flap with luggage, so this is the same as in the Auto Art. And then we can go to the front. In front we have a little bit of a sound system. Here again everything is in place, however AutoArt has a little bit more detail, some wires, also additional wires compared to LCD. Also the windscreen wiper, I think it is a little bit clumsy. I think even the Mini Champs one were a bit leaner. So generally this is how it looks. Maybe let's have a nice look at it with fully open form. Generally my verdict is, if you are planning to compare it to the AutoArt, then definitely this model is not as good. But we cannot forget the fact that at current prices on eBay, the F1 by AutoArt is more than double the price of LCD models. And also there will be a lot of nice color options on the LCD that AutoArt doesn't have. In my personal opinion, the AutoArt color options are a bit boring, because it's like white, gold, black and silver. Here we will have a little bit more crazy colors, and of course this color is this dark green color is very iconic to the McLaren F1, because this was the one that was presented when they debuted the model. Also, when we talking about paint, the quality of the paint is absolutely flawless. I think LCD is one of the best in the business. At this price point, I think it blows out of the all water. Both AutoArt models and almost real models, it is, I would say, very comparable level to the CMC and Exodo. So definitely their price point is much higher than LCD. So I would say that is definitely one of the strong sides of any LCD model. And generally, I would say my verdict is, if you want to have a high-end McLaren F1, then definitely this is a model, the LCD one, you should get, because for this price point, if we're not comparing it to AutoArt, we're just looking at the model for this price point, 250-300 euros, given how many features it has, the quality of the paint, and generally how iconic the whole car, the McLaren F1 is. I would say this is a very good value for the money. If you're interested in having absolutely the best of the best, then obviously this is not as good as AutoArt release. However, in my humble opinion, the prices on the AutoArt McLaren F1 are definitely not worth, the model is not worth that much money. For that much money you can have some nice CMC or Exodo that is much more detailed and has much more parts. Here this one I think has around 550 parts, this McLaren F1 by LCD. I don't know how much parts the AutoArt one has, but I would assume it is similar or maybe a little bit more, but still well under 1,000. So not really a CMC or Exodo territory. So coming back to the model itself, I definitely recommend it. I think you would be very pleased with it. There are some points that are a bit of a letdown, and you can feel that the LCD could have done it a little bit better and like tried to beat AutoArt, but I can maybe understand them that they didn't want to make this model so expensive and keep it at a reasonable price point, which I think they did. in my opinion, definitely, if you want to go for, the best quality wise and detail wise what LCD can offer, it still is Pagani Barchetta, Pagani Zonda Barchetta. That model is absolutely incredible and definitely much more detailed than this McLaren. But then again, this McLaren is much cheaper than the Barchetta, so definitely if you're in for the hunt on the McLaren F1 and you do not want to spend as much on the auto art version, or you just want to have a brand new model, not from the second hand but a brand new from the dealer, definitely I would recommend it, and you would not be disappointed. And thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.